It's the weekend, and you know what that means.
It's time for WWND.
Wrestling with Narrow Divergence, you dumb whores. And we're coming to you from the birthplace of Roderick Strong.
Snowy, Wisconsin.
I'm Lisa. I have autism.
I'm Gary, and I've got a bunch of ADHD.
Let's get into it. We will be discussing the January 15th episode of Dynamite, Maximum Carnage.
And you know what? The Carnage was pretty maximum.
It really was.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I just wanted to bring up a little note, which I suppose we could refer to as housekeeping.
Oh, it's housekeeping? Well, 1 second here.
Housekeeping. If you were watching the HBO feed and you
Yeesh.
turned it on right at 6:55, like I did and some others did, you might have noticed that it was live and it was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yes. We got to watch some of the finish of the ring setup. We got to hear Tony Schiavone and Excalibur and Taz jib-jab a little bit. Justin Roberts introducing the commentary team and hyping the crowd. And then like 2 minutes before everything happened, it was the blue screen of the HBO Zen music. And we were just like, no. Like, you know, you got to see the camera panning all over. Like,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And I bet they're going to cut that when they post it. Like,
they did, yeah.
Dang
because
it.
I watched it again.
I wonder if somebody recorded it, though, and would put it out online.
It was great because we were all like, how can we get this to happen all the time? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
We don't have to, like, the HBO Zen music is great.
Right. I feel like there should be something because it feels like HBO, or at least the streaming service Max, is like a premium, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the TBS, TNT, depending on what night, but TBS because we're talking Dynamite, you know, one has to pay for that too. But it's like it costs more to have Max. And sure, it comes with other stuff, but there's probably people out there that have it just for this. So with that premium cost, it would be nice if there was a little bit more. I mean, you literally get more wrestling if you watch it on TBS. Because you get the picture-in-picture. So that's my only suggestion. Give something that just feels a little premium.
Yeah.
And that's a nice touch, the little behind-the-curtain stuff.
Yeah, the accidental live feed.
Right. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was like that was a production miscue.
Yeah. I went over to Germany last night and watched it on Triller.
Nice.
And there was none of that, but I tell you, a person can get used to no commercials for sure. Yeah. Anything else for this lovely housekeeping?
No. Do you have anything?
I just need to say I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need to warn the audience that it could get spicy tonight.
It could.
It could get spicy.
I have opinions.
Hot takes, hotter than hot.
Yeah.
Hotter than Nashville chicken on a summer afternoon. I don't know. Is that Nashville chicken's usually pretty hot?
I don't eat spicy foods because my tummy doesn't like them, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go then. So we started off with Brian Cage versus Kenny Omega, ref Rick Knox. I thought Brian Cage, I think he looks good in the simple black gear. He does have like a blue crisscross design on the kick pad on his right leg. And I like that he's not trying to look like Swolverine.
Right.
And Don Callis was wearing the shiny maroon slip-on shoes with no socks
No
again.
socks. That goon.
And the pyro that Kenny got, if I was in that arena, would have scared the ever-living crap out of me.
Sure.
Because of the loud boom.
Yeah, I get that.
And I'm afraid of fire. So it just would have been a 1-2 punch of fear for me. It looked like an intimate venue again, which I am loving that whole vibe that they're going for. I loved the gold and black of Kenny's gear. I noticed the crowd was firmly behind Kenny.
Yeah, definitely. There was no doubt about it. And then it makes sense too with the Callis family. But at the same time, you know, great setup match for the return of Kenny.
There was a lot of F Don Callis chants.
Yes, there was.
Kenny won.
Yep.
Then Lance Archer and Kyle Fletcher start to beat on Kenny. Will Ospreay came out to help Kenny. Then Takeshita came out and started fighting with Kenny. And I did notice he held up the international belt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And Will got taken out by Fletcher and Takeshita. It was a whole brouhaha.
Yeah. Heavy on the brouhaha. The last ha is normal.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. It was a normal brouhaha.
So what did you think about Ref Rick Knox?
I put down 2 thumbs down for our boy Rick. What did you have?
Okay, so I put some notes. Started out strong, but then the Callis family shenanigans happened. Like Lance Archer distracted him.
Right.
And Rick was just like meh about it. He didn't eject him.
Right.
And then he was falling for shenanigans, like the distraction by Brian Cage, so Archer and Callis could mess with Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
So I overall gave him just the thumbs down rating.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I took it to 2, if only because you should see that with the Callis family and have your guard up. But I mean, the level of shenanigans I thought were a little over the top. I mean, certainly fun if you're not judging refs, but
Right.
when you're in a situation where we're judging refs, bad shenanigans. So there was one point where when they had, I don't know. I just found myself really marking out over this match.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it way more than I expected. It was fun.
Good. My takeaway, obviously Kenny had said he's totally clear to wrestle in Japan and the US, but that doesn't stop me from hoping that like the whole grabbing of the stomach and everything is a work. You know, it's just him selling.
Oh, that's the way I took it.
You know, I was just like, but it's, you know, I'm just like, I hope he's okay.
Right. I always have that fear in the back of my head too. But I would think if there was any real pain there, he would instantly be like, I'm out.
I would hope so. But
Yeah.
I mean, look how long he wrestled in full pain.
That's true.
For a doctor is like, dude, stop.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
I thought he looked great otherwise.
Yeah, it was an awesome match. The amount of heel from the Callis was actually in its prime.
Mm-hmm.
It added to it. It's what got me marking out.
Yep.
So I thought it was perfect.
There were so many different angles, and I'll just touch on a couple. Like, will we get an eventual Osprey Kenny tag team match?
I would be for that.
You know, to take on some Callis family members.
Mm-hmm.
Will we get Takeshita versus Kenny?
Yeah.
You know, especially with that international belt.
That would be interesting.
Because Takeshita did make a big show of holding up that belt in front of Kenny when they came face to face.
Now, I know that you're a Takeshita fan, but
Yes.
I'm assuming you'd be on Team Kenny.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm gonna thirst over both of them.
And that's
in
fair.
a wild, wild way.
And that's fair. And to the listeners, we did end up fixing the thirstometer. It's a little rough though, so we're gonna have to be careful with it for a couple weeks. But we fixed it. So we're still gonna bring you all the thirst highlights for all your thirst needs. And to that, I'm gonna take a sip of Diet Coke right now.
There we go.
Okay.
Did you have any takeaways?
Yeah. Well, I'll jump into all the meat stuff because this triggered the meat meter.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it did. But let me just talk general match. Like I already said, I was just like marking out because the Callis family did such a good job being a heel. And then we had all the other people coming out because then we had Lance Archer. It was just all in all, it was great. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. It was an awesome way to kick off the night.
It really was. It was a definite way to get people hooked because it was like, we're starting off with Kenny Omega. Okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thirstometer.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it light.
Okay.
I'm going to say 12 out of 10.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And you know what? The meter can take it for now because we braced it. We braced it for this.
Yeah.
Is that 12 out of 10? Good job.
It's all Kenny.
Oh,
and you've
yes.
thrown some Takeshita in there. Forget about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I get
the little Will Ospreay.
right. You can't forget that.
Yeah.
Who else? No, that's pretty much it.
I kind of have a thing for Lance Archer just because I've seen his Instagrams and stuff, and he's a completely different person out of the ring.
Oh, and that's okay.
You know? So, yeah.
No, I get that.
I got all sorts of types.
Yeah. So there you go.
Let's talk that meat.
Yes. So this definitely triggered the meat meter. First of all, Brian Cage, no doubt he's in the meat category.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, he's definitely lean, but he also, I feel he's got that meat attitude. So even though he wouldn't normally trip the meter, when you pair him with Brian, it adds to it. It's like that fine seasoning on there, you know? But then you had Lance Archer get in the mix, and then, he brings the meat. So some key meaty moments that I had was there was an amazing meaty power bomb by Kenny, followed by an awesome knee strike that just about broke the meat meter. Let me tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me get into it since everybody's waiting for this. This is a USDA prime, perfect, modest-sized steak. Great way to start the night.
It is. Let's close out this match,
All
shall
right.
we? Great way to start the night, only to go into the New York Minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Chris Jericho wearing that yellow retina-burning jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice the heart of the bluegrass state, which the bluegrass state is Kentucky, correct?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. The only big thing I noticed was when he was like, why are we paired with the Death Riders? And then he was like, Mox, I've known you a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got real straight-faced and said, we'll be on the same page, right?
Yeah.
And then flip back into like, okay, guys, bye. And I was like, oh, that seemed to like he was threatening Mox. And I'm like, do you really want to do that?
I want him to. I want to see what happens when threats come from the learning tree to Mox.
And for some reason, I thought that Brian Keith came off looking a little dumb.
He had a little bit of a foul mouth in the beginning, right? He said something that they bleeped.
MFer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
he
is the bad apple.
He is the bad apple, but he kind of came off looking a little clownish to me. And I was like,
yeah.
Like the only one that came off looking halfway decent was Big Bill.
Yeah. No, I solid analysis. I agree.
Yeah. So it just lasted too long.
Yeah,
it didn't need to be there.
Yeah, that's a solid point too. I don't think it really added to anything.
No. I think the only reason it was in there is because so many people were complaining because there's that 6-man versus 6-man on Collision this weekend. And people were like, oh my God, why is the learning tree tagging with Death Riders? And it's like, just enjoy it.
Right. I'm with you there.
Like,
I never questioned it. I was just like, oh, that sounds fun.
Right? Like, let's see what happens. Put them together. They're apples and oranges. No pun. Just stick them together and see what happens.
In 10-year puns, damn it. You're a proud person. You can do it.
I never was like questioning it. Like, right. What are they thinking? I was more like, let's see what they're thinking. So it was, I mean, I know I said I had opinions about tonight's show, but I'm not,
start.
That's my takeaway for that whole thing.
Yeah. And you got any thirst on it?
All the Diet Pepsis.
Oh. Sorry, Jericho. It was to be expected, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Ricochet is welcomed to the ring. He is wearing a blue striped suit. He has the gold scissors in his pocket, which I thought was a nice touch. Mm-hmm. He's wearing a light pink shirt and a silver and pink tie.
Yep.
And he's got the serial killer glasses. I'm always going to refer to those frames as serial killer glasses because those frames were popular in like the 80s and the early 90s among people my dad's age and Jeffrey Dahmer.
I was going to say, I swear there was a Dahmer picture with him in those bad boys.
Yeah, so I don't know why they're making a comeback.
No, I don't either.
They creep me out.
I completely agree. I know Amanda specifically said, oh, he's got the serial killer glasses on.
Because that's what they are.
That's what they are.
They don't look cool.
No.
In my opinion. I'm sorry if you wear them.
Well, you know what, though? It's our podcast. We should get some leniency on, we can share our opinions, but we respect other people's opinions.
Exactly.
And their takes.
That's what I'm,
So
I loved that he was getting booed.
Yes.
Like people are totally leaning into his character and he is totally leaning into it right back to the point where he was just like trying to shush them.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, I think he's definitely playing it well.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. I like it. I'll be honest, I'm not really feeling it for him. I don't know what it is about Ricochet that just doesn't scream heel to me. But again, that's just my opinion. And I don't yuck others' yums. So if you're yumming over it, good for you. But it just doesn't feel genuine to me. I don't know. But he's playing it well.
Yeah.
100% agree with you there.
I thought it was funny that there was in amongst the booze, there was the Whose House, Swerve's House chants breaking out.
Yep.
And he just said a picture is worth 1,000 words. And he showed the picture of him holding up Swerve's bloody head. Mm-hmm. And then Swerve's music hit. And I loved the fact that Nana came up from behind him and hit him with a steel chair and then immediately started dancing. That man is a treasure.
Indeed. I didn't see that coming either. And I got very excited. Like, I think I started jumping around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the dance was the perfect touch right after that.
It was.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a wonderfully baggy hoodie and amazing looking black cargo pants. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, here comes Swerve looking absolutely like scary in the best way. with like, I don't know how you can look scary with leather pants, but he did it.
Well, I can see how you can look scary with leather pants.
And
he did it, and he did it well.
And I love his t-shirt.
Yeah.
His merch. And then the big frickin' chain around his shoulders. And he just tried to hit Ricochet with it. And then he just stalked him.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you just putting on new muscle every week?
Probably.
Like, how is this happening?
Right. No, it was the perfect gear for him for that moment.
He looked badass.
I just thought of something. And I'm going to say this. Feel free to use it. But you know what would have been amazing? You know, like those big old like burlap sacks that have just like a print on them that one would have for like hauling around big things of coffee? If Nana had one of those of his coffee and just whack instead of a chair.
Yes.
Big old thing of coffee. Bam.
Yep. Just coffee beans. Just
it'd be great. And then he says something like, that'll wake you up. I don't know. Here we go. Anyway.
I like this feud.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Like, I want to see what happens.
You know what? I'm glad you put it in that perspective, because even though I said I'm not really digging this side of Ricochet, because it leads into this feud, it's like one of those things where I don't care, I'll take it. Because you're right, it's given good things. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Thirstometer. 11 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Not surprising, but oh, wow.
Swerve was looking delectable, respectfully.
And Ricochet, I mean, if you would have taken off the glasses, maybe could have added to it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Those
glasses. Oh.
Anyway.
Now we have a really nice vignette with a day in the life of Mercedes Monet, the CEO, where she's doing TV and media, then she's shopping, then she's training, and we see the 4 titles.
Yeah.
I think she looked great. I liked this way of promoting her.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, not a lot to say on it. It was quick.
No.
It was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't boring, and it added to the story, but it didn't dominate anything.
Right.
Which, I'll take it. And you're right, she looked good in it. So I get it. She's putting out that thing of, hey, people, you know, you better...
She's the new belt collector.
She's flaunting that she's a target.
Yeah.
And good for her.
Yeah. So thirstometer on that, I'm going to say 9 out of 10.
Yeah. I would agree.
We have our next match, the Hurt Syndicate, this time consisting of Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP versus Private Party and Mark Briscoe. Ref is Bryce Remsburg. Bell rang, and as soon as that happened, the Hurt Syndicate just attacked. I liked Private Party's red and black gear. I like Mark Quenn's green hair. Shelton Benjamin's German suplexes are art.
Yeah.
They're just poetry in motion. I can never get enough of them. That's really all I have, like, for notes on this match, because they were dominant. MVP still looks great. This is his first time competing in a ring in AEW. He's had matches outside of AEW.
Yeah, my takeaway from that seems like we're kind of on the same page. I will say this, I sort of questioned why so close to the last match where Briscoe got smacked around by the Hurt Syndicate that they did another one. I know he brought in Private Party, but...
It might be because of that. Like, I want payback.
Right, but as soon as they were walking out, even then, I'm like, you know who's going to win.
Right.
So... I mean, it is what it is. It was a good match.
Right.
It was still entertaining. I just, I'm curious where the storyline's going because I didn't get it.
Right. I could see that. Yeah, Hurt Syndicate won.
Because if they're are they trying to do a Briscoe Hurt Syndicate feud?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. You would think the conglomeration would get in on it, though, and not necessarily Private Party. But either way, like I said, it was fun. And you know what? Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Not all of them need to make perfect sense.
What'd you think about Bryce Remsburg?
So I think he's going to get an Orange Cassidy thumb. Meh.
Really?
Yeah. What were you thinking?
I was just thinking a thumbs up because there was really no shenanigans. I mean, there was stuff happening on the outside of the ring and all that.
I thought there was some shenanigans. What did I...
But he kept it, everything was kept on the up and
you're
up.
right. You're right. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
No, there wasn't really much for shenanigans, was there?
No, because like Bryce, he was on point with everything.
You know what? I think I was just expecting it so much with the Hurt Syndicate that I just kind of... But you're right. They kept it pretty... No, I take that back. Thumbs up. Thumbs up from me.
My takeaway, Shelton could easily be TNT champion. He looked great. I thought MVP looked impressive.
Yeah, how old is that guy? I mean, he's...
Not sure.
I don't think he's like super old, but he's no spring chicken either.
No. I'd be good with Shelton and Bobby as tag team champs eventually.
Yeah, I can see that.
Thirstometer.
Huh?
I'm going to say 10 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
It's all the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, but I mean, Briscoe doesn't hurt.
No, but you know.
Oh, I get it. I do.
Meat meter.
Yes, this triggered the meat meter for sure. Because we had the Hurt Syndicate. Now, Briscoe he's one of those where he isn't meat, but he's just got meat attitude.
Yeah.
So he adds to it when he's with them. But no, it was awesome. Like you said, those German suplexes, just meat gold right there.
Yeah, they're art.
They're art. So we're going to give this match a USDA choice. But here's the trick. Comes with a side of chicken fingers because of Briscoe. Yeah, throw some chicken in the mix. And the only reason it got pulled down to choice is because the Private Party just kind of sucks the meat out of it.
Yeah,
they're so
very lean.
They're lean. So great match, USDA choice with chicken fingers, which you can't be sad about.
No.
Have you ever had a steak and chicken finger combo? I think they have one out at Texas Roadhouse. It's great because it's like all the fun of a surf and turf. But if you're like me and you don't like seafood, it's just turf and turf.
There you go.
Right?
Yes.
You get it.
I do, because I don't like seafood either.
All the seafood people get to mix food combinations, and us not seafood lovers are like, well, what do we get to mix? So it's like
turf and turf. The moos and the clucks.
That's right. So yeah, I thought Briscoe added the chicken, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad you... Oh, so with that, we will wrap up the meat meter with a... Yeah.
So let's close out this match.
All right.
Okay, you're going to love this. So Jeff Jarrett comes out to the ring, and I literally said out loud, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
I believe it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so he starts off by saying the last few weeks have been humbling for him, and that's when MJF's music hits. Okay? MJF is in a blue suit, black dress shirt, and his shoes match his scarf, and he's got aviators. Great. And MJF is just like, humbling, you don't even know the definition of the word. Oh, okay. The gist of this is MJF tells him he's the pro wrestling Grim Reaper. He insults Jeff by saying he's a recovering alcoholic. Oh no, like that's a bad thing. He thinks that he's gonna send Jeff back to rehab. He's gonna, do Jeff's wife.
Which, yuck.
Okay. And then since she is the ex-wife of Kurt Angle, who is an Olympic gold medalist and used to wrestle for WWE. Then he'll know what a generational talent and an Olympic gold medalist's testicles taste like.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right.
I didn't get that reference, but now it's making sense.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, Max, I thought you were really good at promos at one point. This sucked right there.
It's funny you say that, because I actually had a note here that it started out okay, but then it just got long and boring.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Oh. All right, let's hear it.
I'm just warming up.
Bring the spice.
And he was like, Max, it's all been said and done before. And I'm like, well, no kidding, And he was like, I was you before you were you. And then he talks, and I was like, well, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
He said Max's mom was a call girl.
Yeah.
Said that, his dad probably had to pay for it when they conceived Max.
Which, whatever.
Whatever. He had said that when MJF was wrestling Will Ospreay and they were doing the 60 minutes through match, Max's old lady, I don't really like it when men refer to their significant others and other people's significant others as old lady. So I was just like, what? That she was in the back parking lot doing her own version of 60 minutes through with 10 other wrestlers. And then he was trying to get the one-hit wonder thing to happen again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there and go, it's 2025. Why are we using sex work to insult people?
Yes.
That should not be a thing. And why are we slut shaming?
Right.
Number one, she probably wasn't.
Right.
But who cares if she was running a train?
Yeah.
That's her business.
Oh, she's making money.
That's between her and Max.
Yeah.
So I did not like that misogynistic promo.
No.
I was like, are you kidding me, Jeff Jarrett?
Well, I don't expect that much out of Jeff Jarrett, so it didn't surprise me too much.
And then the old lady thing. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that guy's t-shirt.
Oh.
Right?
And then MJF said he made himself. He didn't need his daddy to make him or to make a wrestling company to happen, which, okay, you should have led with that, MJF.
Yeah.
And then he was like, just because you think you were best friends with Owen Hart, you think you're owed a grand finale, and called him a carny succubus just riding on the coattails of his deceased friend. He should have led with that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That had more venom to it than what he started out with.
Yeah.
I agreed with you. This promo went on way too long.
Yeah.
To the point where, if you watched close enough, and I have a picture of it, MJF started sweating his tan down his face, starting at his temples.
Yes, he did. I did.
And... like, we could have done this promo next week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could have not done it at all.
Right, because it was like 2 weeks right in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Of them just being like, oh, I want the world title. Well, I don't want you to have the world title. You're in my way. Why should I have to? Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the ugh.
I was, oh my God, not thrilled.
No.
I was not happy.
I feel like they're trying to build something with Jeff Jarrett, and there's just no meat there.
And I don't know why the fans are cheering him.
No, well, yeah. The one time, because they were in Tennessee, I get.
Yeah, I get that.
But that
like,
last
what?
night, no. I agree with you. There's nothing there. I want less Jeff Jarrett on my TV.
We don't need, just stop.
There can be a place for him.
Right.
But I don't think front and center.
No.
Yeah.
Thirstometer, Diet Pepsi.
How many?
All of them.
Ooh. That's rough for an MJF to end up in Pepsi territory. You know? That guy's got to get his act together.
They both do.
Well, I don't have a lot of faith for Jeff Jarrett, but...
That's how unimpressed I was.
I believe it. Yeah, I was not impressed. And yeah, I guess I just kind of, because it was like a thing where they were taking jabs at each other, I didn't think much of the sex worker stuff. But after you started saying it, I'm like, yeah. And it was getting my blood boiling, so.
I watched that twice.
Yeah.
And I was disgusted both times. We have a match.
Yeah.
Christian Cage, accompanied by Mother Wayne, versus Hook. Ref, Bryce Remsburg.
Mm-hmm.
Hook attacked Christian from behind before Christian even made it to the ring.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know who else liked it? Taz.
Yeah, he did. Mother Wayne actually looked quite statuesque, I thought.
I was about to say, is she starting to look better?
I think so.
Because she actually looked like normal. I mean,
yeah.
Like a somewhat decent, possibly even elegant lady, you know? Yeah, she didn't look like a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed, I liked that Christian midway through started to apologize to Hook and told him he can take him to a higher level. And then he hugged him. And then Hook hugged him back, but then it was just to set up the belly-to-belly suplex.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne interfere, causing the DQ.
Yep.
Which means Hook wins via DQ, technically.
Yeah.
Then Kip and Nick get chairs to do the concerto, and Taz gets up like he's going to go save the day. He's not having it.
No, and that was cool. I really dug that.
And then Samoa Joe's music hits.
Yes.
And he comes out for the save.
That got me so freaking excited.
Yes. I was very happy. And Shibata was out there.
Yeah, I liked that too.
Yeah, to have Hook's back.
Yeah, I thought that played really well. And he did too. There was when some shenanigans early on started, Shibata was there just to step in, and he helped for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, Samoa Joe coming out at the end. And actually, let me fill the audience in. So I have a little thing with Samoa Joe.
Yes.
When Samoa Joe is in gear, he's obviously Samoa Joe.
Yes.
But when Samoa Joe is in a suit, he's at his finest. He's a fancy gentleman, and he turns into Samosef Joseph.
Yes.
Yes. And when he's in just his street jeans and whatnot, he's casual. He's Samoa Joey.
Yes.
Last night he was Samoa Joey.
Which is exactly what I thought.
Nice. So yeah, we had Samoa Joe come out, and I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan, so I was loving it.
How would you think Bryce did?
You know what? I put down here another Orange Cassidy thumbs up, but I'm also like, he did okay for keeping the shenanigans to a minimum. When the DQ started, he got that bell rung real quick. So I don't know. I put down the thumbs up, but I'm also ready for you to sway my vote again.
So I thought he started out good and he kept the counts fair. He kept it on the up and up, but he was just meh with the shenanigans.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's the patriarchy. Of course they're gonna right. So I gave him an Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Okay. So we were on the same. That makes me feel better about it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. I agree.
My main takeaway now is, will Samoa Joe and Shibata team up with Hook to just help Hook deal with his patriarchy problem?
Yeah, which I love them together.
Yeah.
I think they work great. So I think Samoa Joe is ready to get back into it.
Mm-hmm. Thirstometer.
Huh?
There's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because of Samoa Joey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame you there.
Meat meter.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say there's any meat here.
Until Samoa Joey came out.
Right. So Christian Cage, pretty lean.
Yeah.
Hook, very lean.
Yeah.
Although I will say something about Hook. There was a ton of like just how he fell and where the camera was, just some crotch shots on Hook. So I'm just like, dude, don't show the goods. Stay modest. But anyway, it is what it is. It was nothing really. Nobody saw anything. It wasn't inappropriate. I was just being silly. But Samoa Joey, if he wouldn't have, he wasn't in the match, so I didn't throw it in there. But if he would have had the shirt off, it would have just bled in. So you're right. We did get a little meat at the end, almost like meat dessert, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we won't. So we'll give it a flip. But we'll say I don't know what meat dessert would be considered. So we still get the flip. But it wasn't technically a meat match.
No. So let's close out this match.
Well, with a DQ bell, right?
Yep.
There we go.
Now we have Jeff Jarrett again with Renee. Her black shirt that she was wearing over the other black shirt reminded me of a windbreaker.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
I think the material was more satinish, but the way the lighting was playing off it, it looked like a windbreaker to me.
Yeah.
So Dustin Rhodes comes out and is 110% behind him. Basically, it was a pep talk from Dustin Rhodes to Jeff Jarrett. We didn't need this segment at all.
No, I agree with you there.
Thirstometer.
Yeah?
6 out of 10, and that's only because of Renee.
Okay, so
Diet Cokes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
It would have been higher, but it was Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. Yep.
Women's Casino Gauntlet.
Oof.
Inaugural.
Yes.
Ref is Mike Posey.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Statlander comes out first. Jamie Hayter enters second.
Yes. Great way to start.
Start out with 2 strong women.
Great way to start.
And then we have the introduction to most fans is Megan freaking Bain.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was amazing.
But she is another strong woman. Her entrance, her gear for her entrance,
Sure.
Amazing.
I don't really watch Stardom. So for me, this was a complete introduction to her. And what a great introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Just coming out looking awesome, too. The gear was top notch.
Mm-hmm.
And then just great performance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stellar ring presence, everything.
Yeah.
I was crushing hard.
I bet.
Oh, big strong ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. Julia Hart is next.
Mm-hmm.
Then Willow.
Yep.
Loved how she would take bumps and she ended up on the outside of the ring and looked right up at the camera.
Yeah.
And, I loved it.
Just did a little pose right afterwards.
That was great.
Flippy-doo and then pose.
Yep. It was great.
Yeah.
Toni Storm came out. People started chanting, "She's our rookie."
She's, in my opinion, rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm. Harley Cameron came out then. I love her new gear, and I'm happy she has her own theme.
I was going to say, the whole new graphic and music that she had, I thought it was awesome.
I'm happy she's on her own.
Yeah.
I loved her whole "Feel my wrath." People started chanting "Feel her wrath."
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Harley got blackmisted by Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Toni Storm won.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Mike Posey did great, considering he was dealing with a casino gauntlet.
Yeah. So what's the rating you gave him? Because now I'm really interested in how you landed. So I hear you say great, but are we talking great thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Just
yeah.
Okay. I put solid thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely kept all the shenanigans in check. There was the Julia, but I actually had a note of it's different when it's the House of Black. There's got to be some little,
right. And just like with the men's gauntlet, herding cats.
Yeah.
You know?
He did a phenomenal job. job.
So Tony will face Mariah May at Grand Slam.
Yes.
For the women's championship. This was my match of the night, although now I have to get a little salty.
Ooh, I didn't see that coming. What do you got?
They got half the time of the men's gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
If they cut the pep talk promo and shortened Double J and MJF's promo, they could have gotten more time.
Yeah, no kidding. In my opinion, now that I'm agreeing with you, but they could have pulled Jeff Jarrett off the episode altogether.
I mean, this was the first women's casino gauntlet match ever, and I feel like it should have been celebrated way bigger.
Yeah. I thought it was great. The quality and the caliber of it, phenomenal.
Exactly.
But you're right. There wasn't enough gals. There wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, when they got to the pin, I was like, really? Already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
but I was so blown away by how good it was too that I was kind of in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're totally right.
I had both going on where I was just like, this is so awesome. And then I'm like, but it's over already.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is the heartbreak of being a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
Thirstometer.
Oh, yeah.
We're at a 12 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah. I was going to say, I thought for sure, because all of the gals were on point.
Yeah. And you open it up with like 3 wonderfully beautiful, strong women.
And the gear that Willow had, that blue.
Oh, I love her in the blue and gold. It's great.
But yeah, no one disappointed. There was nobody that brought it down, from my opinion.
No, I don't think so either. Meat Meter, I mean, you had some big hoss ladies.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But is there anybody in particular that you can think of that would put it in the meat category? The only person I can really think of would be possibly Statlander, possibly Willow.
Megan Bain.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean,
I'm thinking more of like attitude and the way they dominate.
No, that's true. Okay, because I didn't have it didn't trip my meat radar, but what would you give it?
Prime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there was high quality women in this match.
Well, then to that we will go.
And you had Jamie Hayter. She's very strong. And she definitely brings an attitude of,
All right.
So let's close out this match.
All right.
This brings us to our main event.
Yes.
Powerhouse Hobbs versus Mox. Ref is Paul Turner. I loved the camera angles of Hobbs's entrance. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah.
The colors of Hobbs' singlet, I really liked. It was like gold and a velvet chocolate almost.
Yeah.
I've started to notice more that it seems like Mox and Marina coordinate colors.
Yeah.
Her pants sort of matched the color of the Cincy on his sweatshirt, and her black top matched his black pants. Obviously, you're thinking, oh, we're going to get lucky. It's just Mox and Marina. But no, Pac shows up, Claudio shows up.
Yeah. No, you never know with them, but I expected that too.
Yeah.
So.
There was biting. Mox.
Lots of biting.
Hobbs tried to bite the earring out of Mox's ear. That was amazing, where Mox still had the earring in, but apparently bladed his own ear, which was nice.
Yeah.
To me, much like Renee, I too like when Mox bleeds.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked it. Yuta came out because he sucks.
Yeah.
And did the Busaiko knee to Hobbs when Paul's back was turned.
Yeah, Paul completely missed it.
And he missed Marina hitting Hobbs with the briefcase. Yep. So Mox won because he choked Hobbs out.
Yep.
Then the Death Riders get in the ring and start attacking Hobbs. And Claudio took Hobbs' knee brace off. Mox hit his knee with the chair, and then they wrapped Hobbs' knee with the chair, and Mox stomped on it. And that's when Cope's music hits, and he and FTR come running out for the save. What'd you think of Paul?
Paul, he got a thumbs down from me. You're leaning the same way?
Well, I thought Paul started out strong.
Yeah.
He was doing his best to keep them both out of the corner.
Yep.
He wanted them to get it back in the ring. Yeah. But ultimately, Marina and Yuta were able to pull the shenanigans.
Yep.
So I gave him the thumbs down.
Same here.
It's the Death Riders. You've got to...
Right.
Like Paul, come on.
Yeah. I thought for sure there was going to be shenanigans, but the way Paul fell for it made him look a little foolish.
Yes, especially when he started out so strong.
Right.
Did the bait and switch on us.
Yeah, for sure. So thumbs down. Sorry, Paul.
Thirstometer.
Yeah.
11 out of 10.
Ooh.
Mox and Hobbs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you add in a bloody Mox, who's sweaty as well. Forget about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
How about that meat?
Well, this match did not disappoint. This was a official meat match.
Mm-hmm.
With Hobbs, he's one of the meatiest guys out there. Now, one thing I noticed is it was so meaty that Hobbs himself got hungry in the middle of the match and started munching on Mox's ear.
Yes.
And then when he pulled his arms down so the singlet came down, I'm like, there, he's unwrapping the meat.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you can take a couple ways if you want, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, great meaty match. There was the ear biting, and even the crowd was chanting meat at certain times. But they did a great job with the anticipation where they would charge, and so that's awesome when you've got guys that are meaty and they're playing into it. The crowd gets into it, everybody gets into it. It did not disappoint. So I had this as a USDA Prime, of course, but it was a big old sizzling steak.
Nice.
Yeah.
On a side note, I thought Hobbs looked like an absolute star.
Yes. And even in the beginning, it was like part of a video montage thing. But he was looking really great with the mic work and the camera work. No, I think he's really coming along.
Even before, as Mox was coming out into the ring and he was standing on the top ropes looking down at that whole juxtaposition, he looked great.
Yeah.
He looked dominant, and the way that he would no-sell some of Mox's attacks and things like that.
That's a pro meat move right
there. It is. Yeah.
Totally.
All right, so let's close out this match.
All right.
Bitch count.
Yeah?
0.
Yeah.
Who's your ref of the night?
Well, my ref of the night, I actually have to say Mike Posey. And it's because he succeeded in hurting the cats. And it was cool that he was part of the first women's gauntlet.
I also have Mike Posey because he did a really great job with the women's casino gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's your wrestler of the night?
My wrestler of the night is actually going to be Megan Bain.
Really?
Yeah. And if only because it's I know it wasn't truly her first appearance, but more or less, it's kind of her first big appearance. And to come out that strong and look that awesome, that's hard when nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And she won the crowd over and won me over and looked awesome. So I'm going to give it to her.
I like it.
Yeah. What do you got?
Will Ospreay, because he came out to help Kenny.
Oh, solid choice.
He even pushed Kenny out of the way.
Yep.
To save him from a Fletcher attack.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Who's your D-bag of the night?
My D-bag of the night, I'm actually just going to go with Jeff Jarrett. Even though he didn't do anything particularly D-baggy, just eating up that much TV time and making you and me sit through it. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. All the sex worker shaming.
Mm-hmm.
Boo on you. So what do you got?
Jeff Jarrett for the slut shaming and the shaming sex work in his promo.
Yeah. And eating into what could have been women's gauntlet time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is now time for the Neurodivergence Corner.
Ooh.
We will be talking about executive dysfunction.
Oh.
Yeah, executive dysfunction. It is a behavioral symptom that disrupts a person's ability to manage their own thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's most common with certain mental health conditions, especially addictions, behavioral disorders, brain development disorders, and mood disorders. Examples of executive dysfunctions. And I tried to find within the article from Cleveland Clinic an array. Being very distractible or having trouble focusing on just one thing.
Okay.
Focusing too much on just one thing. So you've got a Goldilocks situation there.
Sure.
Daydreaming or spacing out when you should be paying attention. Trouble planning or carrying out a task because you can't visualize the finished product or goal. Difficulty motivating yourself to start a task that seems difficult or uninteresting. Struggling to move from one task to another. Problems with impulse control. Having trouble explaining your thought processes clearly because you understand it in your head, but putting it into words for others feels overwhelming. Struggling with thinking before you talk. And those are some examples of executive dysfunction. Experts don't fully understand why executive dysfunction happens or why it can take so many forms, but they have linked it to several conditions that affect the way the brain works.
Okay.
Including addictions, ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, schizophrenia.
Okay.
It can also happen if there's damage to or deterioration to areas of the brain that contribute to executive function abilities. Common examples of conditions or circumstances that can cause damage or deterioration are Alzheimer's disease, brain tumors, whether they're cancerous or not, cerebral hypoxia, which is brain damage due to lack of oxygen, dementia, and frontotemporal dementia. That's the kind that I believe Bruce Willis has.
Oh, okay.
Epilepsy and seizures, head injuries like concussions and traumatic brain injuries, Huntington's disease, infections like those that cause encephalitis or meningitis, multiple sclerosis, stroke, toxins such as carbon monoxide poisoning. So what's the difference between procrastination and executive dysfunction?
Yeah, good point. What is the difference?
Procrastination doesn't happen because of an issue or problem with part of your brain. Procrastination is a conscious choice to delay doing something. When you have executive dysfunction, the parts of your brain that control self-motivation, planning, and inhibition control don't work as they would in a person without this condition.
Gotcha.
It's not something you can easily control if you can control it at all. It's not procrastination, laziness, or not caring. The more you know. Oh! And again, I got that article off Cleveland Clinic.
All right. Well, thank you, Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us as we discussed Maximum Carnage.
Oh, yeah. Are you looking forward to Saturday's Carnage?
Yes, I am.
I don't blame you. I heard a rumor that you might be on Blue Sky. What do we do? What does a person call that? It's not threading then. It's blue skying.
I don't know.
Or what do we do now? And we can cut this if this is stupid, but
I simulcast.
Okay. Do we still thread though?
I thread.
Okay.
And at the same time, I post on Blue Sky.
Okay. During the match.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Unless, like last Saturday, Blue Sky happens to go down.
Yeah.
For some people, it was up because I kept getting notifications.
Yeah. No, I'm on Blue Sky, but I don't actively do it all that much yet.
You can reach us at wwndpod@gmail.com. You can find the link to all our socials at our website, wwndpod.com. As always, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, rate us. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Dead air.
Thank you for listening to WWND, Wrestling with Neurodivergence, a Podcast Ahoy production. The producers of WWND are Lisa Rudd, Amanda Putnam, and Gary Putnam. Recording is done by Gary Putnam. Editing is done by Lisa Rudd. Check out our social media for updates on upcoming pods and for clips and other media referenced in this episode. Links and information can be found in the episode notes. Thanks again from everyone at the WWND family.